All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Deal Room. I'm your host, Gabe Bowling, and in today's episode, probably going to be an awesome episode because we have a member that's on the inside of the deal room, and he's grown tremendously over the last year. I cannot wait to dig in and show everything from the minute you joined, what you've gone through, the hurdles you've gone through, how you've gotten over them. I'm super excited to have Eldre from Ocala. Eldre, welcome.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So let's get started. I want to start with where you're at today so people can see you're not just beginning, you're not just getting into real estate, you've actually been in it for a good minute in the single family home space, and then over the last year, you've had an incredible transition into the multifamily space. So why don't we start where you're at today, and then we'll peel it back because I know it's been a journey to get there.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Today, we basically 15 AUMs, 31 units. So we own a lot of our real estate outright, and then we also do property management, construction, and management.
Very cool. So how many units?
We got 15 AUMs,
Got it.
31 units.
Got it.
We personally have 15 AUMs, 15 units,
Got it.
about 2.6 value.
Got it. Very cool. So it didn't start there. It wasn't super
No.
easy. And you have the construction background, you have the property management background. Why don't we start with when did Eldre get into real estate, or why don't we start with your story? Like, who are you? Where did you come from? What kind of childhood did you grow up in? Did you come from money?
Yeah.
Did you work super hard? Did you immigrate to America? Did you come from America? Like, who is Eldre?
Yeah, I mean, I'm from South Africa, proudly South African. That's where my heart is. But my mind and my family and my future is in America.
Yeah.
That was my ultimate goal. I've always wanted to come to America. I don't know why. I was so obsessed. I was one of those kids just saying, there's something better in this world for me. And I just knew I'll find the answers here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I played rugby most of my life, so I was a rugby player. And I traveled a lot. So when I finally got to come here, play pro rugby, play club rugby, all the way to USA, all the way it was lined up for the World Cup.
Really?
And then Esther and I met, and my world changed completely. So it went from me doing me to me doing us.
Yeah.
And I had to redesign my lifestyle.
How long ago was this?
We met 6 years ago, and then that same year after we got married, I was supposed to go to France playing World Cup. So decided to cancel that because I got drafted, got contracts. When I finally got a wife and kids, there was something that was lacking in my life. Something I've always wanted.
Yeah.
More than money, more than anything else.
Yeah.
I just had to pause and redesign my life, take care of them personally. So during that time, I redesigned my business. So I've been a general contractor for going on 18 years, I think.
Yeah.
Did a lot of high-end bathrooms, kitchens, that kind of stuff in Orlando. Did really well. Had a really good network of people. They loved the jobs. I did some really high-end stuff that's in magazine and videos and all kinds of stuff.
You started creating a reputation and people just came to you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it got to a point where it got gnarly because they would actually, some of my clients were just like, here's the budget. Can you outdo my friend? I'm like, cool. I love that kind of jobs. Just give me the creativity and I'll give you the business product I can give you. So during that time, when we were working really hard, Esther was in Ocala, Florida, and I was in Orlando. So we met the first year, we traveled back and forth a lot. The second year, I lived in Ocala of our lives together. Second year, living in Ocala, drive to Orlando.
Yep.
But I had to start saying no to all these jobs, start saying yes to everything in front of me. I was trying to build a business in Ocala, and the market's completely different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work out there.
Yeah, I think that's important. You said something. You said I had to stop saying yes to what was in Orlando or I had to start saying no to what was in Orlando so that I could say yes to what was in front of me in Ocala.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, they get very comfortable in something and then they're like, I don't want to change this, and they say no, or they say no to opportunity, or maybe they don't even see the opportunity. And for you, is something needed to change. We're going to talk a lot about partnerships and husband and wife and the power of it. But it sounds like you found a greater purpose and mission, and you said no to everything you're doing here, even though you were doing good, making money, and made that change over in Ocala. I'd say it was probably worth it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of it that's pressure, and there's a little bit of a addiction to it too. So when you see these flashy dollar signs in front of you
Yeah.
with the clients, because they kind of like bait you into their
Yeah.
jobs at the same time too. And then we travel a lot. When we met, I would go to Daytona and do these 4 or 5 story beach houses, remodel the whole thing, be out there for months and months at a time. My family would come and visit, hang out at the beach a little bit. So it suck away a lot of your private time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as like I said, I had to alter. Also, I figured out I had to work smarter and not harder, because whenever we wanted to go on a vacation or anything, or solve any problem, or get my kids cars, or whatever the case is, I would just work harder.
Yeah.
More overtime. And the more I did that, the less time we had.
Yeah.
And my wife is a very powerful part of my business structure, of my lifestyle. So she sat me down and explained values of life to me, and I had to just redesign my lifestyle. Going forward into the GC world, and I was trying to build a business in Ocala. I was doing so great. I was still doing a lot of renovation work and all that. And then eventually we hit COVID. When COVID came, a lot of my clients had cancer, and they were older. And so it scared me, because how do I take care of this family that I have that's very important to me, and maintain our status and not having to sell off assets and stuff like that at the same time. So I started working for a cabinet countertop company. We did a lot of renovations, did a lot of home flips. We flipped a lot of stuff during that time. I was surprised. I thought we were going to be stuck at home.
This is during COVID?
Yeah, when COVID started, Esther and I looked at each other, I'm like, how much money you got? And we just went and bought tons of supplies. We got stone. I mean, we just renovated our house. We just figured, okay, now we finally get to do me. I was excited.
Yeah.
Happened for about a month.
Really?
I just started the construction of my house, and then about a month later, I started getting work coming in.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, so then we renovated a lot of homes, and then during that time, for the longest time, I kept telling her that I want to own my own properties.
Yeah.
I got done trying to make other people wealthy and
so
fulfill their
this
dreams.
point, you're doing the GC, you're doing remodels. So at what point do you develop the skill set of being able to do the construction? Because it seems to be a super valuable skill set that you've leveraged to make money at the beginning, do well, and then you're able to redesign your life around the skill set that you have, because you can go out and produce more income. At what point do you develop the skill set?
It's almost been part of me for a long time. My dad was a builder growing up too.
Got it.
A lot of my uncles were back home. So when he get building assignments, he would always buy house after house. We would move a lot. We moved a lot. So we buy a house, demo the thing, and it gets a contract, is out, the bathroom's halfway gutted.
Yeah.
My mom got frustrated, started to try to put the tiles back together, because she watched him do it. I was still a little kid back then, and help her out. We'll come back home, yell at us, you guys did it wrong, show us how to do it. Then we'll leave again and we'll do it again. We just got better at it.
Yeah.
So she's my anchor. She taught me a lot about business.
That's awesome.
Concepts. So just something that stuck with me for a long time.
Yeah.
Coming to the U.S., I started off with the Carnival. That was my ticket into the country. I would take any chance I can get. Came with the Carnival and got paid $3 an hour. Kid you not, $3 an hour, and then I had to pay my fees, my housing fees, and all that stuff. It was so rough, but I'm used to rough.
Yeah.
So all this is amazing today, but I knew enough knowing that I wanted to stay in this country, and I kept on my hustling. Finally got to stay here, played a lot of rugby, got a lot of contracts, and then from that point on, I wanted to go to school because I wanted the education, because I never got to finish school. I was out of school at 14 on my own. So I went to school, got my degree in motorcycles, master's in Honda, Suzuki, and all of that. I love bikes because I come from a biker family.
I was just about to say, I see accounting degree, doctor, dentist, lawyer. I've never heard, I love motorcycles, I'm going to go specialize in it.
No,
that's awesome.
I'm obsessed with bikes. I love bikes. You guys talk about cars all the time. I'd rather have bikes.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a collection of bikes.
Interesting.
Anyway, so when I did that, when we started the shop in Orlando, opened up the Suzuki dealership, and went really well. And then quickly I realized something I've always wanted is the one thing that I started hating more than anything. I wouldn't even ride my own bike anymore because I'm dealing with other people's
Wow.
problems
Yeah,
every day. And, it took the joy out of it.
yeah.
So during that time, people keep telling me, man, you're really good at this renovation stuff. Ask me, can you do my floor? Can you fix this? Can you do this? Um, and then people keep pushing me to go into business.
Mm.
I didn't want to go in business. I was afraid. I was a foreigner.
Interesting.
I barely was trying to fight for my green card every
Yeah,
year,
yeah, yeah.
that kind of stuff. So people kept pushing me into it, dragging me into it. So finally I did it.
Yeah,
It changed my life.
yeah.
Became a businessman and just build it up from there. But still, at the LLC side, there was still small scale. So you're still hustling every year. You're
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
much better, but you still have a lot of obligation, a lot of stress, a lot of drama that comes with it, a lot of people work. You always have to
Yeah.
constantly play people, the husband and wife against each other because they have different points of views, different tastes.
Yeah.
So it's a never
And
ending
you're
story.
and you're in the middle.
Yeah, you're like become a counselor for people renovating their house, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to say something.
Yeah.
The difference between immigrants that come to America and create successful businesses or just success in their life versus the people that are born into it and just don't have like I've always been in America. I was born in it. I grew up in the middle class. I went to school, got good grades, fit in. I didn't have the exposure of like how bad it could be somewhere else or like how good people have it in America and the opportunity. And I see so many people that immigrate to America. They're the hardest workers. They go through whatever it takes. And I think that's why you have so many people that create success like yourself. So I just hope everybody out there, if you're if you're born into it, you're born with an opportunity that most people don't have in the entire world. So, and it's a testament. You're here.
Yeah.
You've completely changed your life over the last 10, 20 years of being here. So let's move into the real estate side. You go into the business by force, basically. People telling you you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. I guess that's what happens if you just do the right thing. You develop a really good skill set and you become good at it. People want to give you money. You go into business, and then where does the single family home and then the property management thing come in? I would imagine very close, right?
Yeah, I mean, so after the COVID period or during that time, I kept telling my wife I want to own my own properties, So it's something we pursued for a long time.
Yeah. Why is that? Because, if you're not exposed to it, you're not around it, people aren't doing it, you have to run into some piece of information or meet somebody around you to like think, I want to be a real estate investor. I want to own these properties.
I think it was the house next door to me driving me crazy. We have this house right next door. Actually, we originally tried to buy the house first when we moved to that area.
Yeah.
It was driving me crazy because it was sitting empty
Really?
for 6 years, I think, and it was gutted. They had no plumbing.
Yeah.
They ripped out the concrete. They had no kitchen. And I just kept looking for those windows, driving me crazy. And once in a while, I'll see some GCs out there. They'll be working on the house. Try to ask them who owns the house. Can I buy it from them? Eventually, I got in contact with the owner, and I asked him, "Hey, can I buy this house?" He said, "No."
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, dude, it's been sitting here for 6 years. Like, I don't care."
Really?
I'm like, I need to know who the hell owns a house. It just sits there and they don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to know who this guy is. Comes to find out, he owns a lot of multifamily stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of irons in the fire, and the stuff that he's working is way more profitable and important than that house.
Yep.
It's just something he bought, just picked it up, it just added to his area, and he's like, I'll deal for later.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to know more about this guy, and it drove me crazy.
Yeah.
So then we tried to start buying our own properties. We had an opportunity, basically, during that time, my in-laws, unfortunately, the bank was about to take their house away. So when I stepped into the situation, I've bought and sold properties by myself before.
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, we can fix the situation. Try to get them out of it. They were upside down pretty bad.
Yeah.
So they gave me ownership of their legal rights, negotiated with the bank. Come to find out there was a second mortgage they didn't know about. They thought it was a debt relief program. So they were upside down on the house. So I put the house on the market by myself, put a listing price, sold it the same day, cash in one day. So that was one of my records loans. So then I realized, you know what, I can do this. There's not a lot that I don't think I can't do. I just need a chance.
Yeah.
So when we did that, so technically we bailed them out of a situation. Now we're behind 80K. That's when our real estate portfolio basically started.
Interesting.
Started taking shape. Started with a negative 80K. Then we bought a house a couple of blocks away from us. We tried to get one as close as possible to take care of them. Bought the house, told them, look, stay in this house forever. You don't have to worry about this stuff anymore. We'll take care of it from this point on. Which is a beautiful, we're blessed to do that.
Yeah.
You know, so it gave me a really good sense of confidence.
Yeah.
And I put them on the renter's bill.
Yeah.
Because I want to be a property manager too, on top of that. So we put them on the rent, started running the bills. Then later on, I tried to buy more houses. Then the owner next to me finally said, okay, I'll sell you the house.
Really?
I'm like, cool. So now I got to know him better about his real estate.
Interesting.
I'm like, teach me more.
How did you do that? How did you get to know him better?
Because of work. Eventually, the GCs that I work with him, they took him for a ride. I think it was like 30K, took the money split. And then he called me up, like, hey, I see you do all this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you want to come fix some stuff for me. So I started working for him as far as working on the properties, and I started seeing all the properties that he has.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I can solve these problems. We can make it nice.
Yeah.
For a decent price, because at the same time, he's coaching me.
Yeah.
About multifamily.
So you don't, well, one, that's terrible that the other guys took him for a ride, but like in your head, first off, how cool is it that you moved here, you found the house? What would have happened if you didn't look up the owner and never tried to contact him and like didn't take advantage of an opportunity that was right in front of your face? You think any of this would have been possible for like doing deals or getting into the business the way you have?
No, I don't think it would have been possible. I know I would not have quit.
Yeah.
I was determined enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because part of it too is my body, putting a lot of years through a lot of motorcycle crashes, a lot of rugby, a lot of impacts. General contracting is hard life.
Yeah.
So my body is pretty hard. It was pretty hard on my body for a long time. So I knew I needed to work smarter, not harder. And then eventually, I'll skip that out a little later. So then eventually I got diagnosed, and we found tumors on my head because of all the concussion stuff. So that put me through a different trial period.
Yeah.
But before that, so when I picked up the house next door to me, finally got to talk to the owner, and he got a liking to me. Then we bought that house. Yeah. Renovated the thing. I was about to put it up for sale. It's not quite the asking price that I figured because I put a lot of work into it. And then he's like, put a tenant in. So we put a tenant in there. Amazingly, we got $2,200 for the house. I'm like, shit, I'm missing a lot of things. So learn, teach me more. And then and then it's like, okay, look, dude, if you want to get into this business, you got to start a management company. Yep. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start a management company. So don't be a landlord. Don't do what I did. Yeah. Be a management company. So we started that, got the house next door. He made me a really good deal. Afterwards, he almost bought it back from me.
Really? When he saw what was his, so start a management company. What was his like reasoning behind that?
Because he already knew what I was going to. Yeah. He knew that I wanted to own multifamily. He knew that I'm obsessed. I wanted to learn more, learn about the market. We would sit on my porch. He'd tell me about BlackRock, all these big companies.
I have no idea what he's
talking about. I would go and Google what he said to me afterwards.
Really?
Because I have no idea what he's talking about. I'm like, sounds interesting. Yeah. I would ask my wife. She's like, I don't know what he's talking about.
Really?
Let's figure it out. So that was really interesting. Plus, the guy just struck me as really interesting. Yeah. He had a lot of real estate deals in the market. He's been there for a long time. So just like, man, your life is so interesting. I want to know more about your life. So when we got the house, got the renter in there, started the management company, it was doing really well. Then from that point on, like I mentioned earlier, then unfortunately I got diagnosed when I finally, after 35 years, I retired twice or 3 times. Came back in rugby. In my final year of games, I started losing my balance, can't catch the ball. When I get up a ladder, stuff started getting weird. Yeah. They found the tumors on the back, man, so they cut my skull open on both sides. So that was a hard time for us physically because not only did I not work, which I was so used to taking care of my family, it broke my mental spirit. Yeah. It started breaking me down because I was such an active, very busy person. Yeah. During that time, now I'm in surgeries. It's very painful, very expensive. Yeah. I was starting to worry now I'm going to have to start selling my house just to cover the bills because I don't know how long it's going to take. Right. Until I physically recover. Yeah. So during that time, I was doing a lot of YouTube and I learned a lot. I was trying to figure out multifamily, studied some of Grant Cardone's
This is insane. As you're
Yeah.
going through it, you're not working, so you're figuring like you can't not do anything. You
Yeah.
go to YouTube and you're like, okay, well, I may as well learn something while I'm here and recovering. And then you jump in, you find Grant on YouTube. How long ago was this?
I think about two years ago.
That's insane.
Yeah, so well, one of the things is I figured now that I finally have time for myself, because I never really have enough time on my schedule. We're pretty busy. I mean, we run, my wife's part of a school. She's
Mhm.
the vice principal of a school. We have our own church. We got home groups, men's groups, all these different groups. So many activities, so many things going on. So we're pretty busy people
Yeah.
overall. But now I finally had some downtime and I was getting discouraged. So I wanted to keep up with the education. Figure, okay, one day I'm going to get out of this. I like it. The bug bit me. I want to keep learning more. So when I was studying a couple of those things, trying to figure out these programs, I love the YouTube videos, but a lot of those guys were like, they say a lot of cool stuff. I'm like, okay, but why? I got a lot of questions.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
why? Well, how?
Yeah, yeah.
They never say how. During that time, I discovered Pace Morby
Hmm.
and started. I was like, man, I really like his stuff.
Yep.
Come to find out, we have a cabin up north that we bought seller financed.
Yeah.
I learned that stuff from him, and I bought it with zero money down.
Yeah.
None of my own money in the deal.
All
and I own
from
the deal
YouTube,
today.
huh?
I own that deal today, thanks to that guy.
That's insane.
Yeah,
We
and
love Pace. We're modeled
yeah,
the deal room community around Pace's stuff too.
absolutely. Yeah, and we got to meet him in Atlanta, and I told him the story. I was like, man, that's a really cool story.
Yeah.
He was really happy to hear that. But it put me in a position when I started realizing, you know what? There's a lot that not necessarily that I'm capable of. If you just put your mind to it, you can achieve anything.
I just like we went through it very fast, but you going through it's a life-threatening experience with the tumors and the recovery. Like if you're listening to this and you're stuck somewhere and you're complaining because it's not happening for you, uh, just listen to this guy's story. Like it you don't have any. I'm sure there's negativity going on, but like it's always how can I? Like when I get out of here, I'm gonna go do this. How are you so positive? Like how do you have this mindset? Is it something you've been working on over the, last 10 years, or is like I found YouTube? Because it's super inspirational to me. Like I got goosebumps as you were
Yeah.
saying that.
I mean, I gotta take a pause there. I'm think 4 years sober now,
Really.
and I learned sacrifices.
Mm.
When my wife and I met, it's like a freaking match made in heaven because she's very conservative, type A, save every penny. I'm a wild man. Like I would send her texts while I'm riding my bike on a highway. So I'm very wild and she's very
That's
conservative.
pretty dangerous.
And we
I'm not gonna
balance.
lie.
If you're good at it, you're good at it. But so we balance each other out really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
When I came into their lives, unfortunately, their dad passed away.
Mhm.
So I came into their lives, and it was just such incredible. It filled this part that I needed,
Mm.
and I've always wanted kids. I could never have any of my own kids, so it's something. Always been very interested in and out of religion.
Mhm.
And when I got to study my wife and her beliefs and got into it, and I gave my heart to the Lord, it changed my life tremendously
Hmm.
because not only did I go from single guy, always on planes, flying tournaments,
Yeah.
all this stuff,
Hustling, bustling, working.
hanging out at the clubhouses with the
Yeah.
boys, it went from that to having a church
Yeah.
and having community and have this giant, just a community. Like in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably have over 150 people in our front yard coming hang out. We do it every year, every Christmas. People just come hang out.
That is
And then
awesome.
we'll go do the Christmas carols down in Ocala, down on Main Street. So
Yeah.
it's awesome that these things just happen. That changed my life significantly. And even more importantly, the fact that I just started believing myself more because I come from a life back home where it's negative and it's
Mm.
very hard. It's a very, very tough life. And there's a lot of crime and a lot of violence going on. So
Yeah.
I just came from a life where I started realizing none of these things broke me.
Yeah.
I haven't died. I've went for a lot of things. I'm still alive. I
Mhm.
have a reason. I have a purpose, and I need to figure out what it is. So my purpose was to bring the people around me with me,
Yeah.
teach my kids, my wife, everybody around me. I wanted to impact people as much as I can. That
Yeah.
was my goal. It's still my goal, and which is part of the deal room too.
Yeah.
My goal is to bring people with me. my staff, everybody,
Yeah.
everybody I can affect, because I believe, just like the guy that started teaching me stuff, he was like my Gary
Yeah.
that started teaching me stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he took time and effort and put it into me. And I believe that was part of my real estate success, is because of somebody like, so
Yeah.
I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know, my wife and I were very adamant about our legacy and what we leave behind. Very, very adamant about it. So our goals never was to be millionaires. Our goals was to be able to have a lot and be able to help a lot.
Yeah.
And be able to do a lot.
The impact,
physically.
not like the dollar amount. You don't really care about it, but the impact that dollars and money can do to other people.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, so what motivated me a lot too was that never quitting mentality.
Yeah.
You know, so there were times coming to this country, there's times that it was rough. There was times that I was incredibly homeless, struggling. You know, I was illegal. I had a lot of legal battles I had to figure out. So every single time when those things happen, my family's on the phone. Okay, finally, you're gonna come home. Like, no, I'm not gonna quit.
Yeah.
I refused to quit, and they drove him crazy because I just knew my heart I needed to be here.
Yeah.
And then when I found my wife and my kids and you know, my community, I knew why. Then it was finally a click, like, this is why. And it was worth it.
Yeah.
I'll do it all over again. All the struggles, all the fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That is insane. That is like, I'm kind of speechless. Just, it's so inspiring. I hope everybody's like actually listening. And it's just insane how many people we run into that something, they didn't get the deal on the first offer they ever made. And so they get super hurt and they just quit. And I'm like, you do not quit regardless. And I see, my wife called me a fixer and a giver the other day. I see that like a lot in you, where it's like about the other person. If I do good for them, it's a byproduct that something will come back good for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I just learned. During my career as a rugby player, I've personally started a lot of clubs. You know, I'm one of the founding members of Orlando. I'm the founder of Gainesville Club.
I've never played. Is it fun?
Oh,
Can
hell yeah.
can you show me?
Yeah.
Maybe we should put a deal room rugby event
Oh,
together.
hell.
I don't know. Maybe we need to sign some
We just
waivers.
played on Thanksgiving Day and about killed me the next day.
Really?
I was really feeling it the next day. You know, so what was cool about it is building teams and getting people to go for a common goal and fight.
That's why you're
help
so
people to
good at
align.
multifamily. I just hope you know the building the team aspect.
Yeah.
What you just said is super important for people to hear.
Yeah, I mean, and plus it's also something. When the game is over, or we retire, what did you leave behind? That's really important to us. So in Gainesville, for example, if we go up there, 12 o'clock every Sunday, you can go to Squirrel Ridge Park, and it will be like, you just sit there in the parking lot.
Yeah.
30 minutes later, there's like 50 people there that just show up. It's something we built. I built that.
Yeah.
But not to boast about it. It's just something. That's legacy to me.
Yeah.
When you build something, it doesn't require you to be there, or your name doesn't have to be on it, or you don't have to, you know, force it to happen. When something just naturally happens, and it grows, like our church, it just naturally grows and then evolves. Everything just evolves. That to us is legacy. When it's not about you anymore, it's about the concept as what you're building. You're building fitness. You're building, you know, freedom. You're building brotherhood.
Yeah.
And I want to build the same thing with real estate.
Yeah.
With partners and all the people that works with me and all the people I bring with me.
That's incredible. All right, let's move into you get around Grant, you see the high level, surface level stuff. It's okay. I was talking to Anthony about it earlier. Everybody comes in and gets exposed to it at the very top level. You have to. You can't, like, if you didn't know anything about multifamily and you came across me and I was talking takeover NOI, upside, IRR, equity multiple, you'd be like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
But then you come in, you get exposed to it. You're like, okay, this is actually real. I can do this. I'm already working super hard in the construction space. I'm already doing the property management. You have the in with your Gary, and he's kind of showing you the way, and he also owns a lot of stuff. Walk me through the transition to, you know, kind of where you're at today. What was that like? And then we'll go into specifics on the 10-unit deal, because this is a perfect model deal that most people that want to do multifamily should be starting with.
Okay. Yeah, so during that time, doing a lot of studies, research on people, talk to a lot of friends. A lot of the people that I talk to, they're interested, but scared.
Mm,
So I realized, just like most things in life, you're gonna have to become an example.
yeah.
If you want to achieve something, just set the bar, just go after it, and people fall in eventually. It doesn't matter who's on whose level, so as long as we're all on the same team.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that matters to me. So I did a lot of research, came across your
Mm,
platform actually. I can't believe it's been a year that we've known each other. My life changed when I met this guy.
yeah.
Like completely changed. Um,
That's a surreal feeling for me. Just so you
yeah,
know, like it's, we've had a lot of impact for the people that have been in for a year and gone through and done deals, but it's like my wife and I's anniversary is coming up. We've been together for 7 years, and we were like dead broke, middle class. Like we changed our lives, and so we haven't been able to change many people's lives to the degree that we've done it for you. It's just so incredible to have, like, for you, the rugby people show up, 50 people, you created that. So it's like incredibly surreal for us to see all the hard work we go in. We create this platform. We hope it works. We hope people come in. We hope they train. We hope they take action. And you are a living testament of it. So thank you. Thank you for that a
yeah,
lot.
I love the deal room. I really, really do love the deal room. I feel proud when I sometimes when people ask me, what do you do? And it's very confusing. Like, what do you do? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm part of the deal room. What does that mean? I'm like, look. So when the deal room started, the group right here, it started with like-minded people that wants to
Hmm.
share their experience, share the basic knowledge on what they have, build goals together, become partners together, leverage together, invest in each other's deals, raise money together, grow together, and even fail together.
Hmm.
Your losses is just as important as your wins. It
Yeah.
took a lot of fails for me to get here.
Yeah.
It wasn't just winning, winning, winning. It was not in a perfect world, yes.
Yeah.
Um, there's countless times that I went to lending companies and they're like, nope, denied,
Yep.
denied, denied, or just trying to get a credit card, denied.
Yep.
So my wife and we've lived our life saving every penny.
Hmm.
So we bought our properties, we bought them outright,
Yep.
which was also an amazing thing. But at the same time, it's slow,
Yeah. Yeah.
super slow. It's a
Very,
long,
very low risk.
yeah,
Very low risk. You de-risk it all because it's all your equity's there. You have no debt. So it's smart. It's slow.
yeah. And then when I go to a lot of these lending companies, I ask them why, just like that not quitting part of me, I would ask them, okay, what would it take to get a loan like this?
Yeah.
Like, what would it take? Like, no is not an answer to me.
I
Give me an
love
answer.
that. I do. Like, people need to hear this. You are a how can I guy versus I see a barrier, so I'm gonna quit. That is not your like blood at all. You see a barrier, you're like, okay, well, I think I can climb it up straight, or I might be able to go around, or I might be able to do this. Let's go and let's figure it out. And I don't mind failing to figure it out as long as I keep moving forward and get over that barrier. That is so incredibly important for people to be taking away.
Yeah, I mean, and then when I discovered you on I believe it was on Instagram because
Hmm.
I was asking around trying to figure out a lot of these questions, trying to do research on
Yeah.
it, and I discovered you did some research, and very quickly when I looked some of you, I think it was free YouTube videos. So
Yep.
what something it was back then. When you look at the video and you just started watching the stuff, you already answered the question that I have.
Hmm.
You answered the question, you explained it, like if we want to know more, let's go this respectful, which is understandable.
Yeah.
People want to uh, just dip into the market and get what they teach, but do they practice what they teach? No, they don't. And so
Yeah.
I studied you and I studied your background
Yeah.
and I studied what you have achieved so far. So if I'm going to take a financial advice from somebody, I want to show me your financial books.
Yeah.
If you're going to give me advice, show me your books.
Yeah.
I want to know. It's just simple as that. So when I discovered the group and I started doing research on it, and I knew I wanted to join because I wanted to scale.
Yeah.
My goal, I remember our conversation a year ago. It was an awesome conversation. You asked me what my goals were,
Yeah.
and I told you I wanted to get to 10K a month.
Yep.
And the simplicity of these goals, some of those goals we already achieved them.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it
Yeah.
because I thought it would take 2 to 3 years.
Hmm.
And you challenged me, and I want you to challenge me again today.
Good.
At the end of this, give me a challenge, and I'm gonna see a year from now if I
Yeah.
can reach it.
I love that.
So when we started doing the deal room together and started studying, I was asking my Gary, I really want to do this stuff. Will you partner with me? Then it's like, yeah, I would have loved to partner with him, but he's on his 10-year exit phase.
Yep. He's on the
I'm like,
wind. He's on the
damn.
wind down.
It's like if I knew you earlier, would have made so much money together,
Yeah.
which would have been awesome. But at the same time, it also taught me like, hey, okay, so that lifestyle is real. It's very real. It's very profitable. It's very promising. It takes a lot of work, it takes some sacrifice, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
So even without him, I still want to build this, still want to achieve this. So I figured, okay, I need to get to a point where I need education and help and teach me how to scale.
Yeah.
And then when I met you, rewired my brain.
Mm.
I took some of my single family properties, I took one of them in particular, sold it off and got 10 more. You know, so I basically 10x the deal and I called it 10x Ocala.
That is what 10x is supposed to mean.
I literally called it a deal 10x Ocala because I exchanged one asset, high risk, for 10 more assets, a lot lower risk, and way cooler. way cooler. Yeah. And not only that, it builds your portfolio of your management, it builds your portfolio, you boost your morale, your confidence. You'll learn a lot of great things in a 10 unit deal. It builds up your capacity of what you own in order to scale to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing.
Yep.
And like I said, a lot of these friends that were interested, sometimes they want to see you prove it first.
Of course.
We're 5 months out to being full schedule, which I'm really excited about. But once I get to that point, I get to revisit all those conversations with the friends. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Do you see it now?
Yeah.
You ready now? Or you want to wait another year? It's cool, but I'm not waiting. I'm going.
Yeah.
With or without you, I'm going.
Man, that's awesome. So let's break down the 10 unit deal. And thank you for the words about the deal room.
Yeah.
I remember our conversation. So we answer your questions because we look for you. We're not looking for very, very, very brand new beginner, just getting started, interested in real estate. We're looking for committed people that actually want to do stuff. I already know the questions you have because I know who we compete against, which is Grant, all the super high level surface stuff. We look for you so that you can go through the training, you can do the networking, and then you can actually close a deal, which you've done. Let's talk about the 10 unit deal because I want to put emphasis on it because a lot of people that are listening to this, a lot of people that are jumping into multifamily see the Grants, the Rods, the Brads, all of these people that are doing the 40 million, 50 million, $60 million syndications deals. I've syndicated $50 million of deals. I can tell you it's much more probable to get started and make more money in a quicker period of time to do the 10 unit deals. And you now know why. The 10 unit deal, walk us through the numbers. It was 10 units. How much did you purchase it for? We already know where the money came from. Walk us through the transaction, if you could.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't perfect.
Yep.
And it wasn't easy.
Nothing ever is perfect.
But it is simple. That's what I love about this stuff. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's pretty simple. 10 unit also, it clarifies the math. It's really simple math for anybody to understand. You know, so my Gary, I wanted to buy one of his properties. Really to buy it. I wanted to buy this really big double-story house, split it up, cut it up in 6, turn it into rental units. I was determined to take the properties I have and turn them into rental units as many as I can. It's like, no, dude, there's something better for you. You just gotta wait. So his wife's a realtor, and we do a lot of business together. So they introduced me to a couple that inherited it from their family. They want to get out of the game, but they want a serious buyer.
Yeah.
So he knew enough about me knowing he's serious. Like, look, if that guy doesn't have it now, he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There's not a problem. You don't have a problem with that as far as seriousness. So they gave me a shot at it. Went to look at the property, and it just blew my mind.
Really?
I was so excited.
Why? What were some of the things that you saw? You're like, man, this is it. This is the opportunity I've been looking for.
Because who said Chris Stout said this best. If you keep searching the same stuff over and over, and it's a good deal, it will hit you in the face because immediately it will jump out to you. So 2 things that gave me the boost of morale, because 1, now I'm part of a community that can teach me what I'm lacking.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm missing, we'll figure it out.
I remember we met probably 3 or 4 times just to make sure it was good, took the time, underwrote it, asked the questions, insurance, taxes, make sure to do this, and you picked up the phone. You were the doer. That's just such an important piece.
It was quick too. I remember our text messages on the phone. You were explaining the call that we had the night before. You were explaining a perfect deal, and I think it was the day after or 2 days later. I'm like, I think I found that deal.
Yeah.
And we started talking, we started pursuing it. But what gave me the confidence to go after it too is knowing that whatever I need to learn, I'll learn it in the deal room group. Yeah. The underwriting, everything that involves it, the insurance, everything to look for. But on my side, as far as property management side, I have
Yeah.
enough confidence. 10 is not a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do a lot more if we
With
wanted
your
to.
skill sets, you've been doing the construction, the remodeling, you have no problem to take on a 10-unit deal and renovate it, turn it, get it
Yeah,
nice.
I was very confident in that
Yeah.
part, very confident in the renovation part.
But it's the scare of not doing a 10-unit deal before and the financials part of it,
Yeah.
just making sure it's good. You've never done it before, so you have this uncertainty floating around, even though you can do the project, no problem. And getting the right information, just knowing that you have somebody kind of in your corner to push you through it. That's
Yeah.
ultimately what led
Well,
to it.
that's where you came in.
Yeah.
So you
That's
were
real
you
cool.
play a really big part in that because you have to realize what your superpowers are and be okay with somebody else taking on the other part that you're not great at.
Yeah.
You know, trying to micromanage everything. My wife will tell me all the time that's where I fail
Really?
because I try to do everything all by myself.
Yeah.
But learning to sub out stuff and trusting people,
Mhm.
getting the right people in place. So you rewired my mind. You taught me how to look at all these things. So when we went to look at the 10-unit deal, I was like, okay, they're really bad, really old shape, but I'm confident in the renovation part. I'm confident in the rental part and know what we can get for the market. And then furthermore, I wanted to know about the debt. I wanted to know how does all this stuff work? Because the biggest mistake I made is I always thought part of why I didn't do it sooner because I don't think I'll qualify. I don't think I'll be good enough.
Yeah.
Because I've years of people telling me no, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. And then now I'm part of a group that's got my back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I have the confidence to go into this. Started looking into the deal, started talking to people about the deal. Through the relationships in the deal room, I met so many great people, so many great people. They gave me all the answers I needed, all the advice, all the leverage that I could possibly use for the negotiation on it. So we went into the deal, started underwriting the deal. That was a fun part too. So Gabe taught me how to underwrite. And I had to do it fast.
Yeah.
I had to do it super fast because I got the deal before I learned underwriting.
Yeah.
You're supposed
That
to
is
go
commitment.
You're supposed to go through 30, 60, 90-day
Yeah.
course, and I just went deal first. Okay, how do I do this?
You jumped in off the deep end.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you need to figure this
That's
out.
it's sometimes good. It's just there's the pressure. For you, you've been dealing it, your entire life, so it's manageable
Yeah.
for you. Some people it's not. So I'm glad that you jumped in. It turned out to be completely filled.
Yeah, I don't highly recommend that to everybody doing it that way. But it was funny though, because there was a lot of nights I would sit up and my wife was an early bird. She gets up 4. She's like, oh, you up early? I'm like,
4?
No, I never went to sleep. I'm still trying to figure this out. It drove me crazy.
Yeah.
I wanted to figure out this underwriting courses, understand it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went through the deal. It turned out perfect. They were willing to sell me the deal. Got it on. I put it in the LOI for 900. They counted 975. Just took it. I was willing to pay $1 million or even more for it. They wanted 2.2 for it. It was 5 duplexes, 10 units. They're all adjacent to each other.
Yep.
Which was really cool too. I want to mention this because one of my personal goals was to own another home.
Yeah.
Got that. Then my next goal was to own a house next to me.
Yeah.
Got that. I'm like, what's cooler than that? I want to own a street.
Yeah, the whole street.
I got a street. So we're going to go for a block next.
That's awesome.
Yeah, why not? But it just shows you that if you can do the one, why can't you do the other?
Yeah.
Why can you not do the other thing? What's holding you back from the other thing?
Nothing.
But then again, having the resources and the tools and the guys in your group helps a lot with that.
Yeah.
So we got on a contract. The company right across the street, they offered me $1 million for it. Cash. I could have wholesaled the whole thing right away.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, no.
Really?
Because I was so...
That's an indicator. Somebody wants to take it from you
yeah.
right there. Let me pay you an extra fee.
Yeah, and then I think it was 3-4 months later, we got an offer. Somebody cold called us, started looking at properties. We got offered 1.3 for it. And I thought about it really hard. I'm like, yeah, still no, because the management company...
300 of a score in a couple of months. Think about it.
But then I lose the property. So I'll make the profit, but I don't have the property anymore.
Yeah, then you got to go chase the next one.
Yeah.
That's the thing with flippers. They make their 25, 50, and it's like, okay, yay. But now it's like, if you don't put in the work and go chase the next deal, you're not eating 2 months from now.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been an amazing experience so far. I'm excited to do it again. So after we got the property, got it, now the stress part starts.
Yeah.
So nobody really
before we go there, 10 units, you're in for 975. That's what you purchased it for,
975.
correct?
Yeah.
And then you sell one of the homes, you free up some cash, and that's how we actually get into the deal. Did you have another renovation loan on it too? What's the all-in cost for this thing between the equity, debt, and everything?
Okay. So we bought it for 975, and then we have $250K renovation loan. in the bridge loan. So we took a bridge loan. Yes, it's a high risk, but it's totally worth it.
Yep.
In this particular case, it's worth it because it's a full-on adult flip value add.
Yeah. It fits the profile.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do this on like a 400 unit value add deal. You would try to finance it a little bit easier. But for most of these adult flips, it's either hard money, bridge money, seller finance, or maybe the bank or the credit union that wants to do it. It's really tough to get the Fannie Freddies on these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit easier to qualify for too, but at the same time, you're just buying time.
Yeah.
You're just buying yourself time because you know you're going to renovate the whole thing,
Yeah.
reset the property, refinance it. It's more valuable. It's fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in with a business plan of I'm going to fix them up really nice
Yep.
because our town, Ocala, needs nice units.
Yeah.
There's a serious shortage of that kind of stuff. And I already know what people are paying $1,600 for a 2-1 and what their properties look like. So my stuff's super nice, very modern, high end.
Yep.
And I already know we're going to get the rates for that. At this point today, we probably have like 4 or 5 people on a waiting list.
Wow.
To see the demos when they're done. As soon as they're done, we'll start leasing them out. So come January, we're going to start resetting all the rates and start leasing up the new units.
Yeah.
My plan was specifically to go in there to renovate it and then to sell it. That was my original plan.
Yeah.
But I think we're about 4 months into it. And as people, I already had a proven rate for $1,200. We bought it, the average in place was $920, $920, $950, something like that. Already have one for $1,200. It didn't take long.
Yep.
People paying $1,200.
I think that's important for people to learn. So you're in for $975 plus another $250. You're all in for like 120 units.
Yeah.
And then your average in place rents for how much? 9 something?
$920.
$920. So you're almost at the 1% rule. And then there's already leases as is without doing a single thing at the $1,200.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's the business plan part of it. Of like worst case scenario, if you don't do anything to it, you're buying $920 and you can take it to $1,200. That's a decent amount of upside without having to do anything.
Yeah.
And after demo, after reno, what are they leasing at? Or what do you think they'll lease at?
They're going to be between $1,400 and $1,600.
Yeah, that's insane. That's a lot of upside. That is a good deal. That is a really good deal. On paper, numbers-wise, that is a home run.
Yeah, the only thing I wish this wasn't duplexes.
Yeah.
Because they're based on comps. The evaluation is based on comps in the area. Now, if that was the other way around, my NOI would have been sick.
If it's one roof, you would have hit more, a lot more. That's fine. You're still going to do it.
Well, it's still 100% worth it.
Yeah.
So my goal originally was to sell it, but even when we had the rinse up, that's when the $1.3 million offer came in. Decided now, talk to the guys in the group and they explained to me how valuable it is to go full term and long run. Because in the long run, we want to be one management company. We want to be operators. We want to be a management company. We want to construct on stuff. We're looking mostly for adult flips. I love new stuff. I love all kinds of deals. But in the long run, we want to be an in-house company to support that and have people come to us for those kinds of things and be partners. So the goal never really was for me to be my own person, to own it by myself. That was not the goal. The goal was to have partners. But based on the comps, it scared people a little bit. But now going for the deal, now I think people started realizing, oh, I should have went on the deal. Okay. So now that we go for the renovation, we already have the rates up. We're doing a remodel. I already have people lined up. Now I know for a fact, you give me confirmation to renovate them nice, and I'm going to keep the property. So after a year, which is pretty much 12 months balloon payment, we're going to refinance the deal. I'm pretty confident we'll get a $300K back out, and we own the deal. That's the beautiful part of it. That's the absolutely beautiful part.
It's the infinite return. That is how you create real wealth over a long period of time. You do that times 10 on even bigger deals, you'll have the ability to have as much impact as you want to your entire community. So just so everybody's clear on that, bought it for $975 plus another $250 of a loan, put $300 into it from a single family. All you single family home investors that have a ton of equity, you need to listen. Took it, rolled it into a 10 unit, and then 12 months. I mean, it's not like a 5-year hold. It's 12 months. And look how fast it's gone. 12 months, you'll refinance, easily get out all of the initial $300, tax-free, might I add, tax-free, and then you keep the same 10 units in the cash flow that comes in from it. And you've already fixed everything, so it's not like you have to redo it or add a ton of value back to it.
Yeah, especially planning on keeping it for quite some time. I know for the next 10 years, I don't have to worry about the property. I got a really nice property. Everything's pretty much brand new on it. All the appliances, everything's brand new on it. So I can take care of it. But the other beautiful part about it is too, because at the bridge loan, that was at 11.7%.
Yep.
So if we put traditional debt on it,
Yep.
now that the occupancy is up, the place is super nice, insurance, everybody's happy about it.
Yep.
Now we're starting to make cash flow.
Yep.
But you have to I had to get to the mindset I have to sacrifice a year, get through it. Don't worry about the cash flow. Don't worry about how much money I make.
Yep.
All I need to worry is about my guys. Make sure my guys are okay, family, wife, kids,
Yep.
all the dogs are okay, everybody's okay. That's the only thing I need to take care of. Then I know that after the long run, it's well worth it. But something cool also is happening. Now that we own the deal, or we own the deal regardless, and we own it in the long run, I can sell it off to my kids.
Yeah.
Because my kids are also interested in becoming realtor investors.
Yeah.
And they already started their careers. Both my daughter and my son, and my wife and my in-laws, they invested a little bit of money into that deal.
Yeah.
So they knew confidently enough, whatever I touch, I will make it happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't quit. I won't quit. I might fail, but I might not quit. So they knew enough to invest in me on that deal, and they had the confidence in it, so it helped them out. So they'll get a percentage on it too when the refi comes.
Yeah.
So even though, they haven't physically bought a property, they started becoming investors, they started to become believers in the reality of it.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. And in the long run, if they struggle with their first deals, if they struggle to get their first deals, we can sell off our deals to them. Stays in the family, we still manage it.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
See, I am the investor. I'm always thinking about investors, returns, all this stuff, trying to grow, scale, do all big deals. How cool is it for you to do something like that for your family? Because that is true legacy, what you're building right now. And it's not the last deal you'll do, and you'll buy a lot. But using multifamily as the vehicle to create that generational wealth. You hear it a lot on social media, create generational wealth, but you don't actually see the real impact and like how somebody does it. And that's exactly what you're doing. So I just want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's very important.
Yeah.
I grew up poor hard. You go through these three generations. You got somebody incredibly wealthy, and the next one gets spoiled, the next one ruins it completely. Then the generation out there suffers, and they have to build it up, and the next one builds wealth, and the next one screws it up. So I'm training my kids from day one. We're basically teaching them to be entrepreneurs. So I tell my daughters, I have two daughters, I tell them straight up, I would support you in a wedding, but I'm not paying for your wedding. I'll help you buy investment property. And they're okay with that. They agree with that.
Yeah.
They're like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So for my daughter, for example, her boyfriend, my daughter works with me too on the admin side. Her boyfriend works with me too. He loves the lawn care side of that stuff. Yeah. So what I teach them is you have to buy your first single family home. Get an FHA loan, 3.5% down.
Yep.
You only get one chance at it. Don't before you get married. It has to be before you get married. You get one, you get one. You guys will be set for life.
Yeah.
House hack that thing, live in it for a year, whatever, and you'll be set.
Keep it simple.
If you can make that commitment before you married, or even if it's too late, you're already married, just do that once before you buy a house.
Yeah.
Just do that once, and that's what I'm trying to teach them. They should be teaching this in school, but they're I wish I knew this back then. I never knew this information, but it's awesome for people wanting to start off.
Yeah. Now, for the purpose of, I push on the adult flips. I know you're going to refinance, and I'm a bigger fan of what you're doing, but for everybody that's listening, it's like they want to create these seeds that you can plant, and then they sprout, and then you get this big payoff. You can live off some of it, but then it really kickstarts your entire journey into real estate. If you were to sell that property in 12 or 18 months, what do you think it would be worth? So we're in for 1.2. What do you think the refinance value or a sales price could be, just so we can put like a quantified potential profit on it?
Yeah, I mean, as is today, I would think be 1.6 when we're done. Definitely 1.8.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident on it.
Yeah.
Because also based on what's available on the market, there's nothing really. I mean, there's some appraisal properties out there, but not to that standard. That doesn't perform at that rate and doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty confident in that.
And not to mention rates might go down, and they might help you. They help you a lot more in the comps or the less than 5. Because you could sell it to somebody that's doing the FHA stuff too as a house hack, and they buy a duplex
Yeah.
and they can just rent it out. So you have a lot of different options. But
Yeah.
just for everybody here, he's in all the way for 1.2, out for call it 1.6 to 1.8. Let's just call it 1.7 in the middle. 1.7 minus 1.2, potential of $500,000 of value that you added to the property. So when I say our goal is to take people through the training, the networking, and then get into your first deal where you can pick up 250 to 500. It's not going to happen in 30 days or 60 days like a flip will, but I'd be willing to bet it's worth the 12-month wait to pick up a much bigger score like that. But what you're doing with the legacy is freaking awesome. Let's move into the son joining the business, the daughter joining the, what are you, this is awesome what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap it up with the challenge, whatever you want the challenge.
So my son chose not to go to college.
Mm-hmm. How old is he?
21. He just turned 21
Yeah.
just recently. He chose not to go to college. He didn't want to be stuck with the debt. He wasn't confident that whatever he's going to study would be worth it.
Yeah.
So he got a good high-paying job. I'm like, all right, then get a man job.
Yeah.
Be a man, get a real man's job. So he goes, gets a man's job. Does really well.
Yeah.
Does really well. Works it really hard.
Yeah.
Hard hours, overnights, work late nights and all that stuff. But he knew it's just a matter of time. So he did that, sacrificed that time. So he actually learned young to sacrifice his 20s, to enjoy it later, like you guys did, which I think is beautiful. It's a beautiful plan.
Yeah.
So he started doing that. He didn't have an opportunity to go to our deal room events, the other two, because of work.
Yeah.
So sometimes he gets annoyed when we go do stuff, whenever there's vacations or whatever we do, and because he can't, because he's stuck in a job. Like, well, become a business owner.
Yeah.
On your own job. So over time, we got to go to Brian's event with us in Atlanta, in Missouri. I'm sorry, in Missouri. Yeah. Anyway, so it blew his mind.
Yeah.
He finally got to go, talk to all you guys, met you, talk to a lot of the people, talk to a lot of the members in our group, and I had a chat with him, and it just blew his mind. It's like, Dad.
Getting exposed to it, huh?
I'll say, you were ready now?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to force them. Yeah. I want them to join it when they're ready. Yeah, that was the one thing. I don't want to tell my kids.
You can't. You got to let them figure it out. Want.
But I will guide them on when they're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I'll guide them on when they're doing it wrong. Anyway, so it blew his mind, and he even told me that we both ride bikes, and we got really nice bikes. And he told me, like, Dad, sell my bike. I'm ready to sell my bike. He wanted to get his deposit for his first property as soon as he can. And it just blew his mind.
That's insane.
I'm so excited because during that time, my younger daughter was already working for me in management.
Yeah.
When she got out of high school, she started working with me, learned a lot of stuff, cut grass. She does whatever we do. So I never asked my guys to do anything I haven't done 100 times myself.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's fixing the toilet or
real
hard work.
That is real leadership.
Yeah. I mean, they got to learn that too.
Yeah.
Plus, I want them to learn when they do it by themselves one day, or for example, we pass away and they actually inherit this. Their goal is to run the project, not to cash it out and then go blow the money. The goal is to keep the generational
keep the legacy going.
Yeah, because we personally, I'm done trying to get rich. I've tried that for years, failed. I'm building wealth. And I'm willing to be patient.
Can you say that again? I just think people really need to hear that.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done trying to get rich. I'm done trying to work harder, more hours, hustle. I'm building wealth. So it takes discipline. I had to learn that. And it started with me becoming sober. It started with me doing healthy habits, learning the underwriting, learning the lessons, talking to people, get out of your comfort zone. I'm very uncomfortable the first year. I'm still uncomfortable, but it's okay because I feel like I'm in the right spot.
Because you grow.
Yeah.
How many times have you been uncomfortable, and on the back end of it, whenever you're through it, you're like, yeah, I actually grew from that. I'm glad I wasn't glad I was going through it during, but now looking back, I'm so happy I did that.
Yeah, 100%. And when we go to these events, you're in this room with all these big guys, it's just amazing. I know I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
Even if I feel like I'm the dumbest guy, I feel like I'm in the right place because that's where I belong.
Yeah.
So I want my kids to learn that now. I want to fast track my kids, not by giving them everything, by giving them all the resources.
Yeah.
So Josh has now joined us on board. He joined the deal room, and we made him pay for that because he needs to pay his own ways. No handouts. Yeah. All right. So he's happy about it. So he's learning construction management with me, and the goal for him personally is to come to Tampa and build a branch because he wants to live in Tampa.
Yeah.
And then all my kids are going to follow that path.
Yeah.
And so when we pass away, in our will, we want them to have this, but they got to run the business. The more they can run the business, the more they can have all that.
Yeah.
That's our goal.
Because they deserve it. Because they developed the skill set, went all through, like they didn't get it handed and then like, okay, what do I do now? But they're actually ready to run it.
Yeah. And my kids started young too. You know, they started young, doing a lot of renovations, flooring jobs, demo. They love demo.
Yeah.
I would take them out on demo job. They would just take a hammer and go to
just start
breaking
crushing
everything.
Yeah.
They love demo day. It's just stress reliever for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I might need to join you on some of these demo days.
You'll love demo day.
Yeah.
Just think about everything that happened that year and just take it out on the wall. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, let's wrap it up. Where do you think, so we're doing this podcast today. You've changed your life incredibly, and it's been really big inspiration for me over the last couple of years. Where do you think you're at over the next 12 to 24 months? Like, what's the big focus and mission for you right now in continuing to build your business?
12, 24, I'm really excited for when we go full term. I'm very, very excited for when we go full term. We're about roughly 5 months out.
Yeah.
Get the refi, then I get to redo all this that I started last year. But now that I know a lot more, I'm excited for the next move. So instead of hopefully putting $300K into a property and taking high leverage all the way in, I can probably split it up in 3 different projects with 3 different partners. Put 100K, 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 run it, build it, build it, build it, adult flips. We can do all that. So we can literally double, if not triple, everything we did this year.
And then once those are done, it's 1, 3, 9, 18, 12, like it just starts to have that spider web effect.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. What I meant earlier about the reach thing too, compound interest blew my mind. When I finally started understanding, it's such a simple mathematical thing, but you have to adjust your mind to actually accept it, start accepting it. So the 300K, for example, that we put in that project, if I were to do that 5 times, bring me out to $9.2 million. All I have to do is double my money 5 times. Bring me out to 9.4.
How many doubles are you away from hitting that big principal amount? It's like $10 million pays you $100,000 a month every single month for the rest of your life, with or without you waking up and swinging a hammer.
Yeah, so we'll be 4 doubles away from hitting that. But we also have goals internally. So for next year or so, my ultimate goal for my wife and I, like I said, we have a small Christian school in our town. And when Josh, my son, started, he was one of the first students. I started with my wife and all, did private schooling, built this really amazing school, built it up. He was the first kid to graduate, him and his 5 other friends from the original class. But as time goes by, the class is too big. So then we had to buy a high school building, and now we have to buy a preschool building, as a community. So we have an internal problem. And we're also, there's a landlord involved. So when things happen, we have to go fix it, deal with all the problems. So our goal, part of our legacy, is to be able to establish a really nice high-end building and donate it to the school. Because my wife and a lot of these teachers, they sacrifice a lot of their years, part of their salaries, a lot of overtime, a lot of sacrifice building into these people. These people are important. The youth is important. It's a very important part. So that's one of our personal goals.
Man, that is so incredible. You are a community builder. What Alyssa and I have done, we're building a community of really good quality, really good quality people that all want to grow together. And it's so awesome to see it in you, because you're literally trying to build out Ocala and have impact and not focus on, I want to have a really big house for myself, a really big house for my kids, but giving back to the community. I think that's super important.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely important. And like I said, we only get one shot at this life. At the end of the day, you can't take everything with you wherever you go. But what footprints do you leave behind? That's really important. Our town is a very unique little town.
I like it. I'm not, as an owner and
and as a neighbor.
Yes, I am liking it more and more. I just told Jason, I'm like, dude, I'm doubling down. Send me everything. As long as it's big, let's go.
Yeah, our town is awesome. We've been part of the build. My wife, we took this couple. The World Equestrian Center is in Ocala, Florida, which is also the capital of horse country in the world. So we took this couple on a tour in the town. They wanted to invest in the town. showed them a lot of things, and they decided to build WIC, which is the World Equestrian Center. And it blew up our town. It blew up the infrastructure, traffic, everything is now even more crazy because of that. But not only that, though, the town, it's because it's an old school town. A lot of the younger kids that left, they want something nicer, bigger. COVID happened.
Yeah.
Society, politics, a lot of them come back.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we should have stayed here. This is a much low-key, safe, nice, beautiful town. So it's growing rapidly, and then we're trying to keep up with all the infrastructure going on. So for the town itself is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I also think on the other side of the legacy part about it is, the more we focus on quality, the more people would stop trying to find high-end stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If we just have a town that's quality, if something happens, let's say, for example, we want to get a building for a school.
Mm-hmm.
The community will come together. That's how we built that. We built all those classrooms, everything we built so far, the church, everything we built in our town, because the community.
People, yeah.
Yeah, we know the sheriff, we know our mayor, we know all these people personally, so it's a community.
You're already syndicating deals, just so you know. You're technically syndicating deals for the community, bringing everybody together. That is cool.
Yeah, I think in the long run, like I said, I don't want it to be about me, but I want to have fun with it, and I want to be able to control the direction that we're going.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that I want to have control.
The driver of the ship. Very cool. All right, let's wrap it up with this challenge. By the way, this has been an incredible episode, so thank you so much for coming. Esther is here as well. Thank you for coming. What is this challenge? Let's go. I'm ready, because I think whatever I'm going to tell you to do, it's going to be like, I'm not going to set the bar to what I think you're going to do. I'm going to set it to way above it. Yeah. But I think you'll blow it out of the water, just naturally with who you are. So what do you want?
Do you want to challenge me first? Do you want me to challenge you?
So what do you? Well, yeah, you challenge me.
I got a challenge.
I'll take challenges. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here's my challenge. I want you to take your beautiful wife.
Okay.
And get out of the country.
Okay.
Go travel.
Okay.
Go see the world.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The world out there is amazing.
Yeah.
But not only that, though, you come back humble.
Yeah.
Improve, your mind sharp. Just come back so ready to see gaps. The world there, people have to travel the world.
Yeah.
I tell my son to travel while young. He got to go to other countries and stuff like that, before you get a wife and kids. A lot of that, sometimes that's very valuable information. But that's my challenge to you. My challenge to you is sometimes take a break from work. What you guys have built is absolutely incredible. But you're also building it, and hopefully you're building it in a trajectory where it doesn't always require you to be there.
No,
that's the whole goal.
Yeah, that's why you see the Deal Room logo. You don't see bowling. That's why you see right here the Deal Room. You don't see bowling. I think the impact is not supposed to just be about me. Yeah. It's supposed to be about the people inside the community. I'll take you up on the challenge. Where would you recommend? So, Alicia, please get the passports. Let's roll.
Esther would say Italy in a heartbeat. I would say Africa.
Okay.
Go pet a lion.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lion?
Go pet a lion, yeah. Do something
Do I have like a tour guide with me, or do I just go out there and I just find a lion?
No, just wing it.
Okay.
No, there's a lot of farms that you can go to.
Yeah.
You can play with the cups, stuff like that. My kids got to do it, just blew their mind. Yeah. But it also humbles them. For them as Americanized kids, they got to go to countries where showers are luxury, AC is a luxury, all these things are luxury, and got to actually see what poverty looks like. And we go into hikes and go into all these villages and see all these African moms building, crafting all these things. Yeah. We would pay them for the currency exchange rate to it. So we would buy that from them and I would tip them on it. Yeah. Just buy that thing for $50. That $50 will feed that whole family, that whole community. Yeah. They will literally share it among each other and go buy porridge, whatever they need to buy. So to be able to do something meaningful and impactful like that, something so small will change your mindset. Yeah. So I think that's part of, you asked me why I don't quit and why I do these things, because I actually get out. Yeah. And if I don't get out, my wife will drag me out of the house, which is perfect. So that's my challenge for you, is to actually cut off and step back in, cut off and step back in.
I will take you up on the challenge.
Not that you're doing anything wrong. I love the Deal Room.
No, I work like a dog. Yeah. Alicia will tell you. It's the sacrifice years. Like, put in the work, be willing to sacrifice a couple years to get it to the point where it doesn't actually need me to do it. I show up to every single call. I'll still show up to most calls, but I will take your advice. We will go take some time because it's we need to work on us, and I think traveling might help. All right, what do you want to be challenged in? Deals, people, growth.
Anything. I feel like I'll survive it.
So you've done the 10 units this year.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, I want you to do 100 units.
Okay.
And this could be through partnerships. Me and you do a deal. We do 28 together. You do the work. Me, you know, have fun. Or it could be another 10 unit deal where you do it 100% by yourself. I want you to try to expand because right now you're at 10. The one that you just did. So you're probably thinking in your mind, I can do 20, 24 to 32, maybe 50, but then like above 50, it probably gets pretty blurry.
Yeah.
I want you to challenge yourself, and this time we'll do another podcast in a year from now. You should be 100 plus units, and you're in either in Ocala or Tampa. I want it to align though with what you're building, and it has to align. You shouldn't just randomly go to Missouri, or you shouldn't randomly go to Tennessee to add a portfolio. Like, it needs to align with what you're building. Ocala, Gainesville, Tampa, even Orlando, like that little area. I think you can create all the impact and all the wealth that you're looking to create just there. So why not 10 times more than what you did this year?
Let's do it.
Good. Shake on it.
Yeah.
We just did a live deal on a live podcast.
Oh, it's happening now.
All right. If there's anything that you want to leave thinking about the people that are listening to the podcast, whether they're, flipping, like I always think about the flipper that's like super scarce mindset. I need to keep 100% of everything.
Yeah.
Or maybe too scared to jump into multifamily. Anybody that's listening right now, anything that you would like to leave for them, like a statement, something that maybe will inspire them, change their life, whatever it might be. Anything that you'd like to leave?
Yeah, I mean, I hope, let me put it this way. If I can do this again, I would definitely, instead of the 10x, I would have 100x it. I would have literally I would have think bigger and start talking to people and make sure that your partner, whether it's your business partner or your life partner, that your goals align. Just make sure that your goals align. Have good reasons. If you have good intentions, you'll be blessed in that whatever that task is. You'll be blessed in that. But here's what I want to leave behind. Remember the opportunity that you guys have as Americans. You have amazing opportunities. The American dream to foreigners is not what you guys think it is. It's not a Lambo. It's not a big house. It's not. The American dream, if you ask any foreigner, is opportunity. Simple opportunity. We just want a chance to be able to build a business, to have a corporation, to have LLCs, to be able to do these things, to be able to leverage that. We just want a chance. That's all it is. So look at all the chances you have and use them. You guys have this beautiful opportunity. Just take action. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. Eldre, this is honestly one of my most favorite episodes that we've had. I'm inspired just sitting here and even having the chance to interview and having the chance to create the platform that's allowed you to do this. Where can people find you? Because you're online, you're doing this stuff, you're showing it, you're documenting it, you're bringing everybody apart. The people inside of our community freaking love you. You have no idea how many times I get a call. It's like, dude, I don't Eldre wants me to be a part of his deal just so I can learn. Are you sure? This is real? He's being very helpful and he wants to help change my life. Is he a good person? I'm like, that's just Eldre. He's a community builder. Where can people find you and connect with you?
Well, for starters, find us in the deal room. Go to Circle.
Would you recommend people to join the deal room?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'll tell you what.
We can end on.
No, just like a family or club or brotherhood or drinking buddies, replace them with somebody who wants to help you grow. These are friends. All these guys in the group. I mean, Brian, Eric, all of them. I mean, I will sit here and mention them all day long. Noah, Scott, all of them. I can't name all those names.
You kind of feel bad. You feel bad not even mentioning them, right?
All of you guys. we're family.
Yeah.
This is my family. So I replaced my rugby club family, and this become my family. So I think it's amazing that even after our deal room calls, sometimes me and the guys will call each other. We'll just chat.
Yeah.
Just have a chat about stuff and just build each other up. Because at the end of the day, we have to work together. If we work together, we'll all get there faster and more powerful and stronger.
Yeah.
We'll get stronger together. So that's very important to me. If you wanna follow me, my name is Eldre.Olvachen on Instagram, or you can just follow me on Facebook, Eldre Angel Olvachen. That's about it. Coming 2025, then we'll actually start branching out the Marion Corp company and actually make it a branch. So we want to bring in general partners and grow with us, like you said. Yes, I want to bring general partners with us, grow, learn asset management, learn construction, and become partners and do what I do, because anybody can. I want to give back that way.
Yeah. Man, thank you so much for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, hopefully you're as inspired as I am sitting right next to Eldre, listening to his podcast. Heavily recommend, go check him out, follow along his journey. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. We will see you in the next one.